Good afternoon, class. In today's class, we are going to discuss regarding the role of time factor in the determination of the price. Okay, time also plays a very important role in the determination of the price. Okay, so generally we are always thinking of short run and long run. Okay, short run, long run. That is with respect to we are calling with those names with respect to time, right? So this is to know how quickly can the supply be arranged to meet the different demand situations. So for some market situations, we can't give you we can't arrange immediately the required content, right? Required goods we can't supply. Okay. So generally the price level depends upon the demand and also the supply. Okay. These price levels depends upon the demand and also the supply. If the supply is more, so if I want, for example, if I want for the if I am a producer, sorry, if I am producing, my factory is producing bikes, a two-wheeler bikes. So the market may be in demand of 10,000 number of bikes per a month, per a year. Okay, of my product, 10,000 number of bikes of my product. I can do that only if I get my input raw materials within the time. Okay, the demand is 10,000, but my supply is only 200. Okay, 200, or else say just now I said that my 10,000 number of bikes is required for a month, means all over our country 10,000 number of bikes are required of my own my right. But if I am able to get, if I am producing 10,000 number of bikes at a time, means it is not possible. That's the reason why generally every company will be doing is, so even though there is only in the starting days of the introduction of the bike, first they may be introducing only say some 200 or 300 number of bikes into the market. For example, I'm saying, right. So every year, every month, I will be producing 300 number of bikes. Even though there is sale for a bike, only my sales are only 200, but I am producing only 300 only. If I produce, why I am producing like that? If I produce less than that, my input cost will be increasing more, right? To avoid that, I am finding out the concept such a way that I don't get any negative loss. Okay, I don't get any loss. Okay. So for that purpose, I'm identifying, at least I'm identifying no profit, no loss condition, and I'm producing that bikes. So I will release those into the market, and I will be identifying that if all the bikes are sold, I will not have any loss. But what I'm doing now, but I have observed the sales for 2 or 3 months or 4 months or 5 months. So there is only an average of 200 number of bikes, but I'm producing 300 number of bikes. The rest 100 bikes, I'm keeping them in the godown, right? And later, when suddenly the increase and there is a huge demand for our bike, so then suddenly I can't change the equipment. I can produce more number of bikes right now. So I have to observe. I have to observe for some period, some extra period, that whether I have to change the equipment and I have to produce the more number of bikes or not. Okay. So if it is very much necessary like that, if it is very much necessary like that, means then I will change the equipment. So previously I have only 100 200 number of I have sold only 200 number of bikes due to the lack of demand at that particular point, and 100 number of bikes are in the godown itself only. Now I will supply the goods which are already made and kept in the godown. Okay, I will be I will be supplying all the rest of the bikes, right? What we'll do is, so for example, we have produced. So what is my bike demand in this present month is 1,000 bikes. Due to the due to the increase in the demand, what I have to do then? So every month I will be producing 200 number of bikes. Okay, in the similar fashion, I will be producing 200 number of bikes only. Previously, there we have sorry. Previously, I used to produce 300 number of bikes. Previously, from past 5 months or 6 months, say for example, from the past 4 months, I have produced 300 number of bikes, but 200 number of bikes are only 200 number of bikes are sold, right? So from the past, okay, from the past 4 months or 5 months, right? So for example, you take as 4 months. So from the past 4 months, per month, I am producing 300 number of bikes. 4 into 3 is 1200 number of bikes I have already produced. But 4 into 2, only 800 number of bikes are sold. And that means 800 number of bikes are sold means that means they go down, there are 400 number of bikes already. Okay. At present, I have a demand for 1000 number of bikes. But I will be producing only 300 number of bikes. I have with my equipment what I have, I can produce only 300 number of bikes. That 400 plus 300 is 700, 700 number of bikes are already produced. Okay, I can produce by the end of this month. Demand I have to issue is, and that is well and good. Okay, but what happens here? There is a deficiency of 300 more bikes, right? So what we have to do is, as they are very much interested, the demand is there. We should not change the equipment right now. We have to observe the demand once again. We have to wait. If in the next month also there is 1,000 number of bikes means demand for the bikes is around 1,000 number, then we have to think over it. So now we will supply the 700 number of bikes as there is demand for around 1,000 number of bikes by this month end. So we will keep this 300 number of bikes in the waiting list, right? We will let them wait for one more month. We will produce 300 number of bikes in the next month, and I will be supplying those. So if in that month also, if I have 1,000 number of bikes, previously 300 number of bikes are in waiting position. Now around 1,000 number of customers has to wait. 1,000 number of customers has to wait, right? So since then if I produce 300 number of bikes in the next month, that 300 number of bikes will be used for the reserved customers who are in the order, right? First come first serve basis, right? We will be following this concept, right? First come first service basis. So we have to observe till up to some time. We have to observe that if we are unable to give them the goods properly within the time, will get a bad reputation. What we have to do is, it's better to change the machinery and it's better to change the machinery and produce the new bikes in excess number also. Okay, here the time plays a very important role in the determination of price, right? So within the so uh, so so you already know the concept of if there is more number of If there is more demand, the person who pays more will be getting that thing.
Yeah.
For example, if you see, if you have gone for the RTO office where vehicles registration will be done, there will be there you can see that auction will be going on there for some particular numbers. Generally, in our country, it will be everyone think that lucky number is 9 and 9 or 99 or the triple nine or four nines like this. This type of numbers will be there. Or first single digit numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. This type of numbers is there, right? That means these numbers are having highest number of highest demand. So then what they do is they will call for the auction of that particular number. So if you bought a new car and you want that particular fancy number, then you should be able to pay more amount for it. So if more number of persons want that particular number only, they will be going for the auction, right? So if not, if you don't want anything means you can, if you want to take any number means, within short period of time you will get the number, right? So, so if that number has completed means, then we have to wait for some more time. Okay. So if you want it in a short amount of time period means you have to pay more amount and you have to get that, right? So generally, so you can also have seen some of the bikes which is having a good market, but the supply is less. Automatically, there will be hike in the price. Automatically, there will be hike in the price, right? This price will also depend upon the demand and also the supply. That thing only we have seen, right? A delay in supply, a delay in supply may push the prices up. Okay, and if you are supplying immediately, automatically the prices also will get reduced, right? So, so generally, when we talk with this of, time period, we have very short period equilibrium, short run equilibrium, and long run equilibrium, right? So this very short period equilibrium is generally the supply is limited to the stock on hand. Okay, stock on hand means which are already the goods are already present in the godowns, right? Supply is limited to the stock on hand. Okay, in addition to the current available stock, it's not possible as there is no time to arrange for additional production. Right? We can't produce the goods overnight. We can't produce the goods overnight. Okay, the prices at which the available stock can be sold is called as market price. Okay, the price at which the available stock can be sold is called as a market price. Okay, that means if if even though we may have more amount of demand for a short period of time, we can't generally actually we have to sell it only for the market price, but they take the advantage of the market and they will be selling at highest prices, right? Short run equilibrium. When we go with this, the film can be expanded its output to a marginal extent by an initiating increase, initiating necessary changes in the limited way. So what is this is short run equilibrium in the sense if in the previous example what I said that I'm producing only 300 number of bikes per month, but if my machinery has the flexibility of producing 500 number of bikes, what I have to do is I will be producing 500 number of bikes continuously for 4 or 5 more months. Automatically, it will be satisfying the present demand and also it will satisfy the upcoming future demand also. Okay, what we want to see here. now is, so it's already once again it's time for this e-commerce sites such as Amazon or Flipkart. They are going for a big sale, right? That is for Dasara. They are going to make a very big sale. It is just like a short-term equilibrium. Only in that particular span of time, say for 1 week of time, there will be huge sales. Okay, they will be increasing. They will be increasing the prices. They will be decreasing the prices for that particular amount of period only. Later, they will be increasing. Okay, this is short-term equilibrium. For this short term equilibrium, like in the time period, what they do is they will be selling all the previous stock what they exist. Okay, what they have, they will be selling those at a time. Okay, so in the long run equilibrium, what we want to say is here the long run equilibrium means there is a huge demand for your product. Then you have to do. It's necessary for us. It's it's replay. We have to replace the old equipment, and it's necessary for us to uh, fit with the new one. That means to produce highest amount of goods. And this long run is sufficiently a longer period where the firm can make all possible permutations and combinations to attain the maximum amount of profit, right? So general new films will be entering such type of markets. The existing one will be leaving from the market, right? So this long run prices in the long run will be depending upon many factors such as the number of competitors, new technology, and other cost situations, right? Price in the long run is also called as normal price. The short run you have seen, very short run I have seen called it as market price. Now we are calling them as a market price, the normal price. So how we have to find the equilibrium point? So equilibrium point is the point where the firm means the company or the industry. Generally, firm means a single company, which is a smaller one, we can say. Okay, equilibrium point refers to the position where the firm enjoys the maximum amount of profits and without increasing or decreasing the output. That means products. If you get that, we can say that it's an equilibrium point, right? There is no necessity for us to increase the production or decrease the production, but we can enjoy the maximum amount of profits in that particular point. That is called as equilibrium point, right? So in a perfect competition, the firm has to satisfy two conditions to attain an equilibrium. What is that? The marginal revenue should be equal to the marginal cost. The marginal cost curve should cut the marginal revenue curve from below only. Okay. In monopoly, the firm attains equilibrium if its MR is equal to if MC, marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. In a perfect combination, what we want to say is that in a perfect combination, firm has to satisfy two conditions for to attain equilibrium, where marginal revenue equal to the marginal cost, and this marginal cost curve should cut the marginal revenue, okay, from the bottom. So this is the perfect combination in the for an individual film, in a perfect combination for an individual film. So the individual film under the condition of perfect combination has no control over the price. Perfect combination has no control over the price. Just you have entered the market and it is a perfect market. It's not necessary for you to determine the price. Already the price is already determined. For example, if you go to some market, some vegetable market, every day in the morning of in the morning hour at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, the market all the vegetables price will be fixed. And if you have produced some some brinjals in your farm, and if you want to sell those brinjals, what you have to do is you have to take the permission of the market and you have to sell those brinjals with the existing price only. Okay, you can't change by as you like, right? When you want to enter the market, you have to take the permission and also you have to sell that brinjals at the market price only. You can't sell more than that price, right? You will not have any control over the price, right? It is passive. Generally, it is
Yes,
passive. That is price taker, right? You can't if you are unable to control the price, then it's called as passive only. Then it's a price taker. You are not going to decide. You are not the decider for the price. You are only the price taker. Just in other words, it has to accept the price as given by the market. Right? Market forces determine the price, and individual firm has to absolutely no control over the price determination. Right? In the perfect competition for an individual firm, already you are just new to the market. Just you are a price taker only. You don't the market forces in the sense some of the market persons will be there. They will be deciding the price, and that those one will be with that price only you have to sell that particular products, right? See, in case of agricultural products such as rice, wheat, vegetables, and so on, the individual farmer has no control over the market prices. Thus, the individual firm has no alternative other than accepting the given market price. You see the pity here, right? So even though farmer has produced the goods, you don't have any control. So what is this situation? You have to understand the situation, right? Since the farmers, since more number of farmers produce the same variety of goods, so automatically there will not be any demand for those goods as the production is high. So if there is more consumption and less supply, automatically there will be more demand and automatically there will be more amount of price. But if there is more amount of supply, but the consumption is less, automatically the prices will be going down. So he has to accept the market price only. Okay. So to solve these problems, to solve such type of problem only, what the farmers has to do is they all has to form already they already formed as a say some society, and they have to discuss. So they have to discuss and they have to follow some particular guidelines of the market ad committees, and they have to come to conclusion that they have to produce different varieties of goods, that too also in sufficient amount of demand, which sufficient amount or some sufficient in such a way that it have some amount of demand, then only they can get more amount of profits, right? Okay, so the demand curve for the output of individual film is horizontal line here. See here, the demand curve of for the output of the individual film is a horizontal line at a given market price. It is a perfectly elastic and then it is just like a perfectly elastic demand curve. So even though any other factors may be changing, but price is equal to average revenue is equal to the market price. Okay, marginal revenue only, marginal revenue only. Okay, that means you don't have any fluctuations. There is no fluctuation in your price, even though there is a quantity demand is more, your price is fixed only. Okay, the firm cannot change the market price even if it sells the whole of its volume of production. Okay, so for your firm, if you give more amount of products also, you are not going to, they are not going to give more amount of price, right? So see here, the perfect combination where the film and perfect combination for the film and the industries. So the pricing strategy in the perfect combination is, okay. So in the perfect combination for a film on the total industry, you can see this price determination in case of industry and the perfect competition right there. So if so in this here, a perfect combination means the film is not going to have any control over its price. Okay, price is determined by the market forces that that is demanded and supplied to the given products or services. The pricing strategy is a perfect competition. The pricing strategy is a perfect competition and charge the same price as other films charge. Okay. So then how can we gain the market? Since we don't have any control on the price, that means we don't have right to reduce the price also, even though we have just entered the market. How to gain the market then? The only possibility is to give the perfect good, to give the perfect good and quality good only. Okay, if you give the quality good, then automatically there will be demand for your good. Okay, okay. So film has no control over the prices and the charge for the products. Okay. In case of perfect competition, the industry demand curve normally slopes downward. This is the demand curve DD, right? It's because it represents the demand for all the consumers at various prices, right? And industry means we may have any number of some n number of uh, industry means we will have n number of films, right? So for different goods at different prices, automatically their demand curve will be like this only. Okay, it will be sloping downwards. The industry demand curve is downward sloping as we refer as shown in the figure, right? This is okay. Then what is SS? This is a supply curve. This is supply curve. If the supply curve is touching the demand curve from the downwards, it is called as the equilibrium point. That thing what we have learned here, right? Okay. Then we can say this point is called as the equilibrium point, where we can have a constant. Okay. The supply curve SS, okay, normally slopes upward, which means that producer offer more quantity to sell at a high price. It's the price and determines the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied. Okay. That in OP and OQ, right? This is the O, right? OP and okay. You can say this OP and OQ. These are nothing but goods demanded and supplied and the price. At particular point of price, what will be the goods demanded and supplied, right? So here two cases occur. What happens if the price is higher than the OP? If the price is higher than the OP, what happens? If the price is higher than OP, the supply will be more. If the price is higher than the OP, the supply will be more, and hence the price is likely to fall due to the lack of demand. Okay. So this is the equilibrium point. Why we are calling it as equilibrium point means we are supplying only the number of goods which are in demand. We are not going to produce more number of goods and we are not going to supply more number of goods. If I supply like that means automatically the price has to become less. Okay. Here what happens, you see, the price is higher than OP. This is the price, right? If the price is more, the supply will be more. If the price is more means the supply will be more. Since the price is more, what they do is they will produce the same type of product in excess and they will give to the market. What happens? Since there is high amount of production and high amount of supply, automatically the price will be falling down once again. The price will be falling down. Okay. As the price falls, automatically once again the quantity demanded will increase, but the quantity supplied will also decline. So generally, this is the part of business cycle which we'll be studying in the next units, right? So what happens is the price will be more. Since the price is more, for example, you can see the agriculture market. What the farmers will be generally doing is for 2 years back, just 2 years back, the Mirchi got green chili or red chili, whatever it may be, red chili we say, Mirchi we say. Okay, it is having high amount of price. Why? Because at that time, 2 years back, at that time, the production of red chili is very less. So automatically there is uh, generally the demand will be more. Generally there is some amount of demand, but due to the less amount of production, they got a good price. The demand is more and supply is less. Automatically there will be a hike in the price. Then next year, what the farmers did is instead of producing cotton, they all produced mirchi only. That means red chili only. What happened there is now the production of chili is increased, the production of cotton has decreased. Okay, the production of cotton has decreased. Now at that point of time, the, the farmers who produced the cotton got more amount of price. The persons who produced the chili at that time got very less amount of price. Then what happened? And the next year, so let's say this year, say farmers produced cotton this time more. Since why? Because last year there's huge amount of cotton demand, and the persons who produced the cotton got more money. So now what they thought is, so it's better to produce cotton this time. We can have more amount of profit. They thought like that, and all the farmers produced once again the cotton now. So what happens? Automatically, the supply will be more, demand will be the same. automatically prices will be reduced, right? That is the thing what happens in practical, and the same thing also applying here. So since there is high in the selling price, uh, um, selling price is high, demand is same, and we thought of we can sell that for more amount of price, and we separate more amount of goods. As there is more amount of supply, automatically there will be reduction in the price. Okay, so the same thing will be happening here also. Okay, so what we have to do is the demand should be equal to that of the quantity supplied. Demand should be equal to that of quantity supplied. Automatically, we'll have the reasonable price. Okay, if you don't do so, automatically you have to face the losses. So what happens if the prices follow below the OP? What happens is here? If the prices fall below the OP, the quantity demanded will exceed the supply. The quantity demanded will exceed the supply, and hence the price is likely to rise. Price will be automatically rising right there. As the supply is not forthcoming okay, as supply is not forthcoming in expected quantities, some of the consumers may bid a higher price, and it will push the price into the market, in the market to the OP once again. So these are the situations just generally followed for the gold, or else any other good, whatever it may be. So there are okay, we can't compare with the gold. Why? Because it is at some particular point of time it may exhaust this petrol, crude oil, or petrol from crude oil only we'll get petrol, right? So there are some products which will be exhausting very soon. Those products prices will be very high in the future, right? So if you are able to produce, if you are able to produce, reproduce, say for example, you can see the food what we eat, the fruits or vegetables, we can reproduce once again by with the help of seeds. With the help of seeds, we can reproduce. But the crude oil, which we are getting from Arabian Sea, generally at some particular point of time, within near future, that will be exhausted. That will be totally completed. What happens if there is a bucket full of water, you are taking out the water with the help of a tumbler. At some particular point of time, what happens? The bucket becomes empty. That's the case now in the gold, or else in this type of crude oil also. So, but what the case for this will be different. Right? The case for the food is different. Even though that the days are coming where we have to pay more amount for food also. At present situation, that what we are doing is, instead of consuming more amount of rice and wheat, we are consuming very less amount of rice and wheat. We are depending upon other alternatives. Okay, so this is the case of perfect competition, right? Perfect competition for individual film, and the perfect for the film and the industry. Perfect competition we have seen for today. So in the next classes, we will be seeing the price output determination in case of perfect competition in the short run and long run. And, okay, in different situation, market situations such as monopoly. Okay, what happens? Price determination in the monopoly and any other situations. Okay, we'll see these things in the next classes. Okay, monopoly and monopolistic, oligopoly at that particular points of time. We just go through this once. Okay. So see you in the next class.